Wide Open Outdoor Adventures with your host, Dave Valtiera. We'll make you a better sportsman.
Subscribe to the Wide Open Sportsman YouTube channel today.
Wide open!
Valdez of the Texas AgriLife Association. Helicopter hog hunting is coming your way.
I've been hunting for over 40 years in a half a dozen states, and I've never seen anything like feral hogs. They're very smart, but they can be incredibly destructive, and they're in most states now. But as much as I may know about feral hogs, I'd like to know more, and I'm fortunate to have an expert here, Marcel Valdez from AgriLife here in South Texas. How you doing?
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
Well, first I'd like to ask you a question of, you hear about Russian boar and feral hogs and wild hogs, and they're all used interchangeably. That's not really right, is it?
Not necessarily. And feral hogs, which is the most common term used in South Texas, is feral hogs or wild pigs. They were brought into the Americas about 300 years ago by our Spanish settlers. They utilized them for food and, of course, lard for cooking. And of course, some of those escaped to the wild. So domestic hogs who can become a feral hog when they get into the wild, and they will, after generation and generation in the wild, they will develop those wild characteristics that make them what we know today. Russian boars or European boars, they're a separate species, but they were brought into Texas in the 1930s by ranchers and sportsmen alike for the sole purpose of hunting and recreation. Of course, some of those escaped, and with the existing feral hogs, they began to crossbreed. So now in Texas we have feral hogs, we have Russian boars or European boars, and we have European or Russian boar crosses. They're found in every county almost in Texas. 225 counties in Texas out of 254 have feral hogs or Russian boars or feral hog crosses in existence today.
So really now we have three different animals here in Texas: a hybrid, a feral hog, and a Russian boar.
That's correct.
The doors are off, we're buckled in, guns are loaded. It's helicopter hog hunting. First, we set up the helicopter. We took off the doors, we filled it up, and while they were doing that, we were loading our guns. The tension is building. There's nothing like being up in the sky. It's a totally different point of view. Let's catch up with Brett and Marcel and find out a little more about conservation.
Well, now that we know there's three different animals, what's the difference between them?
Both of them are about the same size. They grow rapidly, about the same. The Russian boars or European boars tend to be a little bit taller, thinner, and they also have bristles that are usually most of the time they're erect. Feral hogs, on the other hand, have a wider color pattern. They're a little bit wider body size as far as the width, but they do have the same characteristics, the ability to develop their old genetics and their old skills of survival. So basically a feral hog used to be a domesticated pig. In the 1930s, however, in Texas ranchers and sportsmen alike got together and they started to introduce the European or Russian boars. Those, of course, also they were held in captivity. However, some of those escaped. And so what happened is that those European and Russian boars that were imported in the 1930s began to crossbreed with the existing feral hog populations. So as a result, very few, if any, pure European Russian boars are found in Texas. Most of what we have today or a European and feral hog cross. Those are the ones that folks will go and hunt for recreation as well.
So most wild hogs here in Texas now are really a hybrid cross.
That is correct. They are a hybrid cross between the feral hogs that were introduced in 300 years ago, and then the Russian or European boars that were imported to Texas in the 1930s.
So since we know hogs are an invasive species, are there any known natural predators?
We can officially say that there are no known predators for feral hogs or wild hogs. We do have documentation from our Texas A&M AgriLife Extension wildlife specialists that have isolated incidents where they have documented coyotes preying on young piglets in the wild. In other cases, we have had young piglets also being preyed on by bald eagles. However, these are isolated cases, and unfortunately, there are really no known predators for wild hogs or feral hogs that we can officially say they control the population. With that said, the other items or other things that can be considered would be some type of device, a chemical control of some kind. However, there are no repellents. There are no chemicals that can be used as for baits for feral hogs. So it is safe to say that feral hogs have no known predators other than perhaps the farmers, ranchers, and sportsmen that hunt them, maintain them, the population that way.
So there is no way to control the population other than man?
There is no way to control the population other than man, and they've been hunted and they've been trapped for quite some time now. Yet indications are that the population numbers have decreased, if any, very little because of their breeding ability.
So even though man is the only known predator, it's still not a very good control.
It's still not a very good control, and they continue to breed, and the population numbers continue to increase.
There must be a huge problem with hog populations.
And one of the reasons for that is that hogs have the natural ability to multiply rather rapidly. The sows, which are the females, in a lot of cases have 2 litters a year. The litters can range anywhere from 4 pigs to 10. In harsh conditions or drought conditions, a lot of time they will only have 4 pigs or 6. But under ideal conditions and good environment for the pigs, they can have litters as big as 10 to 12 in one litter. That is a big issue, what continues to create that population growth.
So sportsmen are a big part of helping to control the hog population and are a benefit to ranchers and farmers?
Yes, they are, because number one is that we have no registered chemical controls for wild hogs. There's no baits that can be used to control wild hogs. So sportsmen provide a vital part in maintaining the population in check, and research has shown that we perhaps will not be able to eliminate the wild hog or feral hog population. The next best thing to do is be able to control them and keep them in check, and sportsmen play a vital part in maintaining that population at least in a manageable level.
So hunting and sportsmen really do help keep control of the hog population.
They do, and they provide another source of income for a lot of our farmers and ranchers, being able to participate in hog hunts. The economics that is provided to the ranchers and farmers in the area, as well as the sportsmen and going and hunting hogs, and thus controlling that population through their activity is a vital part for farmers and ranchers in our area.
So the hog hunting is good for the environment and for the economy here in South Texas?
Yes, everybody benefits from it, and hopefully the population of these hogs that cause so much damage can be kept in check for years to come.
The shooter is almost always in the left front seat because the pilot flies from the right front seat. The helicopters we used were 4-seaters, but the pilot only wanted 3 in the helicopter so we can reduce weight so he can maneuver the machine. What an amazing view from the sky. Your heart is pumping and you're fired up, but remember, you've got to lead them some. So be careful with shot placement.
So with a huge population of wild hogs, there must be an enormous amount of damage done by them.
They do. There's a tremendous amount of loss to agricultural producers, both livestock producers and farmers in Texas. First of all, hogs are a nuisance in 225 out of the 254 counties in Texas. Nationwide, they're found in 39 states. Nationwide as well, including Texas, the estimated damage that they have caused on an annual basis is $59 million. And of course, livestock.
Found them. We're on the move. Let's line them up. The best technique is to start at the back and work your way forward.
Are there any restrictions on hunting them?
Ironically, earlier in the program, we mentioned that there were no natural predators for wild hogs or feral hogs known of. And in the same token, there's no laws that protect them. They are an unprotected species. There are no bag limits. There are no seasons when you can harvest them. You can take hogs at any time of the year. The only thing that is required is a valid Texas hunting license to be able to engage in hunting wild pigs or feral hogs. A lot of times hunters enjoy harvesting hogs at night using a spotlight, and it's perfectly legal to use a spotlight for hunting hogs in Texas. Most hunters, however, as a courtesy, and it is highly recommended that they notify their local game warden that they will be engaged in hunting hogs using a spotlight, especially where known deer populations are found, so that they can be hunted legally, of course, using the spotlight. But again, to reiterate, there are no bag limits, there are no restrictions of any kind in hunting hogs in Texas. However, the only restriction is that the individual engaged should have a valid Texas hunting license to do so.
Your adrenaline is up, but stay focused. Talking to the helicopter pilot to speed up or slow down or just hold his position will make you more effective. Special thanks to Smith Helicopters for making this show a reality.
Today on Wide Open Outdoor Adventures, viewers have seen hog hunting by helicopter by Sportsman. What is the goal of hog population for ranchers and farmers?
Well, the goal of farmers and ranchers in Texas is to eliminate wild hogs. However, we know because of the population of wild hogs that we have, that is not a realistic goal. Therefore, the only realistic goal that can be achieved in short term and in long term would be the hunting of hogs. Hunting of hogs as a sport from a helicopter is a good way not only to engage individuals that enjoy the hunting sport, but it also is able to provide that small window of opportunity for our farmers and ranchers that the goal of that's realistic, and that is to keep the hog population in check. So that whether it's night hunting hogs with a spotlight, or hunting hogs from a helicopter, or trapping hogs, or shooting a bow and arrow and locating pigs, all of those sports activities will contribute to the goal of our farmers and ranchers, and that is to keep the hog population in check and minimize the damage that they cause in the daily operation of our agricultural producers in Texas.
So hog hunting from helicopters, which started as a ranch management tool, is good that sportsmen have taken it on as well?
Very definitely. It's a sport that is able to contribute to a large number of hogs that be taken from an area. The other unique opportunity that helicopter hunting of pigs is the ability to locate them quickly, because once a population of pigs is known to be in a given area on a farm or ranch operation, of course that needs to be taken care of immediately. And if we have avid sportsmen that enjoy the sport of hunting hogs out of a helicopter, this is a unique opportunity to address the issue with hog problems with the rancher and farmer, and thus provide the sportsman an opportunity to hunt and from a helicopter and enjoy that sport as well.
On today's episode, we learned a lot from Marcel of Texas AgriLife about wildlife management, and we showcased the sport that's growing in popularity, helicopter hog hunting. I hope you enjoyed the ride. Managing animal populations on ranches in South Texas has been an ongoing challenge for hundreds of years. We found a way through sport hunting to reduce hog populations on Texas ranches. The end result is a better ecosystem for all of the wildlife involved. Special thanks to our amazing sponsors. We couldn't do what we do without them. Special thanks to 2 Tons of Steel for allowing us to use their music on this episode of Wide Open Outdoor Adventures. Just get out there. Visit wideopensportsman.com every day for your daily fix of adrenaline. You know, it's always wide open.